Today we are doing a monitor replacement on a laptop. This is a first for this specific laptop for me, but we've done a lot of monitor replacements before, so hopefully it'll go nice and smooth. This laptop is an Acer A515-47-RLXS. That is a mouthful, but we're gonna get started. I'm gonna take this laptop, I'm gonna change the screen. The screen was busted. Customer accidentally stepped on it. Happens once in a while. So it's only the screen that's broken. So we're gonna replace the screen, and this will be a step-by-step on how to replace a laptop screen. Most laptop screens are the same way, but this is specifically for this model. If you have another model, you may want to double check those directions specifically for your model. You're gonna need obviously the laptop to work with. You're going to also need the replacement screen, which we have here. You're gonna need some double stick tape to also replace on it. I would recommend getting the double stick tape from the screen replacement company that you're going to be using. In this case, we used laptopscreen.com because it matched perfectly to this specific laptop for the specific screen. You're also going to need some sort of screwdriver set. So this is an iFixIt kit, but this is just the tech tool kit. It has some extra stuff like basically spongers and other equipment. So you're gonna have everything that you need, extra types of screws, maybe some type of prying tools to get in there. You will need some extra little bit of tools here, and you won't need this whole kit, but you'll definitely need some of it in order to get this to separate. So let's start with opening up the laptop. And really hard to tell from just the laptop this way, but when it's on, there's a lot of cracked part of the screen over here. It was stepped on obviously on this side, so it was pushed and it was cracked out. And start changing out the laptop screen itself. What you want to do is you want to grab a sponging tool or some sort of tool to get underneath, or prying tool. In this case, since the laptop screen is broken, I'm not too concerned about breaking the screen more. I'm more concerned about breaking this bezel. So that's why I'm going to be very careful and take it apart gently. So I'm going to just start with a pick to get around and pull up the clips. Yes, it's going to make a lot of weird, bad crunching noises. This is normal. It's just, there are no screws. It's just a plastic bezel to get apart. This is a little rough. Try to get corners. Again, I'm not worried about the screen more right now because the screen is already broken, so that part's going to be taken out. I just don't want to crack the bezel. And I'm going to have to push this down a little more to get this out. It's a little tricky. There we go. Okay, so I'm just bending a little. There we go. Try to be careful around the web camera. There is a web camera here, so you want to be very careful between this not to hurt that. So you may want to just use the pick again, but not your fingers, and just pry it up. And try not to break things in the process. Oof, that one's really on there. This one. Try going this way. There we go. Probably should wear gloves with this if you are concerned with fingerprints. I'm gonna wipe the machine down when we're done anyway, so I'm not really concerned with fingerprints. I like to work without gloves if possible. But again, that's up to you. Oof, these are really tough at the top. These are really stuck. This is probably where the person probably pushed the most on. That's why these are not coming up so easily. This is a little hard to see also. Let me move this down. Come on. Want to go. Oh, all right. That's not working too well with that, so we're just going to get a pry bar. Pry it. There we go. All right, it's been a little more difficult than it needs to be. There we go. But got it. Okay, so after that's out, you're going to slide that carefully away. And now that you've got that away, you're going to be able to take a look at the screen itself and see how it comes out. At this point, there is a Wi-Fi antenna that is going around the entire unit over here, round and down and around up here. We're going to be careful of that. That has to still stay in place before, once we take the screen out. That's the hinge. It's probably underneath this. Let's get this plastic piece off. You know what, I'm going to take the new screen out to take a look at how this goes apart so that I don't make a mistake on getting the screen out. I think there's actually plastic or some sort of tape holding this down. No, let's not use that. Let's try to use the wedge. Try to use the plastic pieces more than the metal ones. The metal ones are nicer for like heavy lifting, but this is not a task that's required to be heavy lifted. Oh, there's some sort of tape. Okay. Let's see if I could try to lift it from a different angle. Doesn't want to go. No, I have a feeling something is also holding it down here. Let me just check to make sure there's no screws. No screws. So it's got to be tape. There's only screws down here, but that's for the full hinge. I don't want to take the whole hinge apart and try not to do that. I don't think we need to. I think the cable's down here, and I think there's 2 pieces of tape underneath here. Let me just see if it's safe to actually take this piece off without having to replace. Let's see. Let's take a look at the what they gave us in the kit. So we're going to take that apart, open this up really quick, just to get an idea. This is the replacement screen, and it does come with the metal tape or foil at the bottom. So that means that that foil has to come out. And the connection is on this side over here, if it matches what we have here. So we have to be careful pulling on this side, that we only pull exactly what we need. Also, I purchased the exact tape that fits with this. If you notice, this is very specific looking tape. I would recommend that you buy this if you're going to replace the screen, because obviously it's only taped in there. And if you have too thick of tape, this will stick up and you'll have problems. So you really don't want that. So just get the right tape that matches with it. Laptopscreen.com, because they do sell the tape with it, and it does match exactly your unit. So if you're looking for a screen replacement, I recommend using them because it does match everything. It's a little better than using Amazon or something like that, where you may or may not have all the tools to do what you need to do. You can start prying this up. This is going to be probably a little hard to do since I can't see the tape, where the tape is. So we're going to have to kind of pull up wherever we can. Is that a solid piece? That is a solid. We may have to use a heat gun, so we may have to come back to getting a heat gun because I didn't bring a heat gun over here, so I have to double check. Don't ever force this. If you have a problem like this where the tape is holding in, get a heat gun and put some heat on the back of it. I think at this point, I don't think we can get this out of here without breaking something. Now you gotta be very careful with a heat gun. You obviously want to heat the back a little bit, but in this case, since the screen is busted, I would recommend you heat from the front, because then you won't have to, you won't have to put this down at all. It will require a little more heat to get to there, but this is already damaged anyway. So damaging this a little further is not the end of the world. If you're unsure about this, iFixIt has a heating like pad kind of thing where you can put it on top of there and it'll slowly heat it up if you're concerned with not wanting to use a hot air gun. I'm going to use a hot air gun because that's what I got, but probably best off to buy the one from iFixIt. That makes it a little easier. We'll be back. So we got a heat gun right now. We're just going to basically take this, add some heat to this. This is a low level heat gun. It's not that hot. It's kind of simple. So we're not going to go hot on this. Hopefully we won't have any too many problems. Make sure it's hot enough. Don't leave it in one direction too long. All right, so what you want to be careful about is basically keeping away from the webcam, because that's obviously still working. And you want to be careful of all of the cabling and stuff, so you don't want to burn the cables. You just want it hot enough to get the glue off. I'm going to put this over here, hopefully without burning myself. This is probably not going to have a really good effect. Let's try to put this on the actual table. This is probably waiting too long, honestly. I should have probably did this a little faster. I don't think it's even loose. I think we need to wait a lot longer than that. Yeah, probably. Well, a little bit. Getting a little bit. It's getting a little separation here. Just be careful of the webcam again. Just a little bit more separation. No, it's stuck on this side. So I'm going to give it a little more heat, and we're not going to leave that in there. Wow, that's really on there. All right. This is separated. This side is not separating. Ooh, that smell. Yeah, you guys gotta also like the smell of hot air. It's really gonna get hot in here. Getting hot in here. All right. Okay, here we go. Getting it. There we go. A little bit of extra force, but yeah, that's, I don't want to bend that, so. This is where plastic spongers are not going to probably do you any good. You're probably better off with a little metal sponger or a tool like this. It kind of comes apart. Probably should heat this up a little more. I hear it cracking. And that's not bad because it's broken anyway, but I don't want to have to break the plastic in the back. Oh, yeah. That one's really... There we go. All right. Oh, look at that beautiful tape. That's so annoying. All right, it's kind of came off at least. Pulled off the little last bit of it. Be sure to just rip it up from the back. You don't need to take it off the back of this monitor because this monitor is busted, so it's just going to go garbage. We're going to put new tape on. It's not the exact same tape, which makes me a little nervous, but we shall see. All right, so this is also, this connector here has to be removed, so you're gonna be very careful to remove that connector. And to do that, we're gonna have to get this piece of plastic to come up, I think. Yeah. I'm gonna use a little poker. Anytime you're using a hot tool, be sure the tool has like some sort of stand or something on it. This one happens to have a stand, so it makes it a little easier to put it upward so it doesn't burn your desk or burn you. Let's get this tape off. Is this tape going to come off without me having to go through hell? Come on. All right. Come on. I'm folding the tape accidentally. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so after the tape is off, what you're going to do is you're going to double check the connector, and it should just slide out, I think. I don't think there's a locking mechanism. It's kind of hard to see. I don't think there's a locking mechanism. I think you just pull. That's a locking mechanism. Oh, it's under the tape. Oh, there's a bar. Okay, there's a bar. Oof. There's a itty bitty bar here that needs to be lifted up, and that should let it disconnect nice and easily. The other screen, you just take it for recycling, put it off to the side. New screen. We're gonna be a little careful with this. It does come with some plastic. Ooh, hi. There's some plastic here that basically is to rip off the coating that's here for keeping this safe. I recommend you keep this on until you're about done. Once you're done, then you can take that off. But let's just carefully flip this over. Probably should have a little extra padding here. I don't know, do we have an extra padding? We have a little extra padding here, just in case. Came with some bubble wrap, so I'm just gonna take some bubble wrap right now. I know this is probably a little staticky, but minimal problems with this. So let's just take that, put that over here just to kind of protect it a little. This also needs to be pushed down a little. And we're gonna put this clip back on, this little connector. So this connector is going to slide back in place, and then you're gonna put the little arm down once it's in place, and not before. There we go. Just gonna slide it in. And hopefully in enough, which there's not sure. Let's get this a little bit more down. No. Nope. Come on. These are kind of a pain to push in. There we go, got it. Once it's in, you'll hear it click. It's a very light click because it's a very small connector. And then you're gonna push down the little lever, if you're, whatever. Put the tape back on so it stays. It doesn't move on you. I put a little fold there just in case we have to take it back off again. Well, hopefully we won't. Now, what I would recommend before you tape this in, I would probably recommend that you do a quick test to be sure everything is working before you replace this, just in case the screen came damaged, which I've not really had any damaged parts from laptopscreen.com, but it really depends. Sometimes you end up with a little bit of an issue once in a while, and they do take care of it, but you don't want to waste your tape since you only have one set of tape. And by the way, this tape is not cheap, so you don't want that tape to go to waste, and you don't want to have to like re-pull apart everything just for one screen that may have been screwed up. This has got to go a little higher, I think. I think that goes higher. No, or lower. I'll double check it. I think it's supposed to go higher. I think it's supposed to go higher than the camera. No, it goes right here. All right, never mind. It goes right here. It goes in this little groove. Ugh. This is poor design here. Okay, let's just double check. Let's double check the screen first, and then we will go from there. So we'll take this off for a second. I'm not gonna, you're gonna have to fiddle with these wires down here to make sure they're all perfect before you put it back in place. We're doing a test, so let's just do a test. Let's fire it on and quickly take a look. Hopefully we have some battery. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, the screen's coming up. No issue, looks like it's fixed. So let's put the tape on and then close it back up. Let me also shut this down. You're probably gonna not see this because this is the customer's data. All right, just wanna make sure the screen looks good. Make sure, let's have a wait for it to go down. You want to make sure that there's no dead pixels and stuff on the screen. Try to make sure of that before you close everything up, just in case there's a problem. I don't know what the pixel warranty is, like how many pixels have to be dead before it actually is considered returnable. So you may want to double check with laptop screens to see what that is, or whatever company that you're buying from. All right, let's get some, I keep saying laptop screens, it's laptopscreen.com, not laptop screens. So whatever, it's nor here nor there. I got 4 pieces of tape. I think this only had 2 pieces, so I'm gonna just put 2 pieces in. It looks like we have a track here of where the last one was. It's not sticky. It looks like it's actually part of the plastic, so that's probably guidelines for where we're gonna put this tape. This is a very thin tape. Again, just use the one that comes with, you know, purchasing it. You may want to purchase the extra one. This was like 10 bucks, I think, which is kind of expensive for tape, but it is the same thin tape. Now, this one has little pull things. I don't know if this is going to fit under here properly, so we're just gonna kind of go a little bit above, and it looks like it will fit a little bit above, and we're just going to call that a day, because honestly there's like no way to get this below here without it going over the little clippy thing for actually putting it back in place. So we're not going to do that. I don't want to have a mess with that. I'd rather it be secure than it be like all wobbly. So we're just going to put that over here. I'm just going to take this tape, I'll put it on this area first, which is probably a mistake. Actually, I probably should go on the screen. Yeah. We're going to put it on the screen instead. So let's put it on the screen. You can see here I put it on the screen first because that makes more sense than here, just in case this doesn't line up with that. Let's put that on, and then we're going to pull that blue piece off to allow the double stick to happen. And we're just going to put this into place over here. Again, the corner. I want to get more up the screen. It doesn't really matter too much, just as long as it's somewhat on there. You know, this is not an exact science over here. Like, you don't need it perfectly measured out. It'll work. You know what I mean? You don't need to go crazy here. All right, so once this is done, you're going to pull these 2 tabs and you're going to slip that back into place onto the laptop cover. So I'm going to pull this tape if I can, because it seems a little hard to pull. There we go. Be sure to only pull the blue portion. You only want the blue portion, the light blue portion, not the dark blue or dark black portion, because that pulls the tab off. You don't want that. Just pull this. Again, same thing. This side, pull only the blue portion. So if you need to, hold down the black portion. And we're just going to put this in place. Hopefully this will stay and not be a pain. This is going to be a pain. Yes, it is. Come on, stay down. Okay. All right, so now that's done. We're going to put this up And I'm gonna try to move the screen. Let me move this down so you guys can see what I'm doing. Yeah, all right. And then we're gonna pull this up. We're gonna put this back down in place with our finger, hopefully not needing our finger for too long. And you wanna line it up with the top first, get in its grooves. I think this is over. Maybe I have to do bottom first. I have to do bottom first. Sorry guys, I was mistaken. Bottom has to be done first because it needs to clear the bottom. Clear the bottom, then line up the top, and then push straight in and hope that the tape sticks. Again, give it a little firm push, but be careful. This is still a screen. You do not want to push too hard. You want to make sure it's just sitting taped down and in the groove. Is this in the groove? Yeah, it's in the groove, okay. Just a little bit flimsy there. Okay. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna be careful of this cable. This cable's gotta be over the lip here. That's the part that's a little tricky. You wanna line up this plastic piece as close as you can down to the bottom, making sure that it doesn't snag this cable that's down here. So you wanna make sure that goes around that and it's gonna go down past that. Now, there's a little problem here because you see like this plastic won't come off if I push this down right now. So we're gonna have to take the plastic off at this point. So we're gonna pull this back up a little bit. We're gonna have to probably do a screen clean anyway. Pull this tab, pull the plastic piece off, hopefully keeping it in place. If you really are concerned, you should probably wait for the tape to dry before you do all this, but I'm kind of a little bit of a rush, so we're not gonna do that. But you can just be careful. Again, there's a cable over here too, so just be careful that the plastic bezel goes over it, not on it. Get it down there. There we go. Get it down first and then get it lined up. And it should snap into place. I'm going to snap around the camera first, which is the top here. It's a little hard to see, but this is the top. I'm snapping around the camera first just so I make sure the camera's lined up with the hole so you're not off by a little bit. That's more important. And then the bottom will just flow into place after that. Go around. Make sure to go in one direction. Don't go a different direction. Only go one direction. And push down until it snaps. And you get the same thing on this side. Be careful when you push this down here. You want to be very gentle because you want to push down more on the plastic piece, not on the bottom of the screen. You want to, because that part of the screen you can damage, and then you would just defeat the whole purpose of what you just did. So do not push too hard. Just push very gently over here, and it should pop right in. Now that's good. Let's just double check. Make sure it's all down, which it is. And at this point, it should be good to go. Now, little word of advice. I left the battery in when I did this. You probably should take the battery out. So that's better practice. I've done this 1.5 billion times. I'm not really worried about it getting electrocuted, but just in case, it is kind of beneficial not to do that. Especially if it's your first time, you should take the battery out. I didn't kind of go over that. So let's turn this on and let's see if it worked. That's okay. Okay, and we got one good screen. And it looks pretty good. I'm gonna get into the system, but we're gonna blur a little of this out because this is obviously the customers. So, we don't wanna show too much here. And yeah, the screen's good. It's working good, looks good. I'm just gonna make sure that there's no weird stuff going on, which it looks like it is. This is not a glossy screen, this is a matte screen. I'm gonna use a little of cleaner to get this, looking good. So this is a basic screen replacement. Most of the screens are kind of the same way when you go to replace them. They're not very drastically different. If you have an Asus or something like that, or a Lenovo has been known to have a lot more difficult time changing things. Acer is not so bad. Acer is a pretty good, easy brand to change. Parts are relatively available. But Lenovo, they have a lot of different weird like flipping screens and touch screens. Those are a lot more difficult to change. You have to take apart pretty much half the unit to get at the actual brackets to change them. This one happened to be pretty simple. It's on top. So just pulling, obviously, as you saw, just pulling up one piece of plastic and some annoying tape. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Have a great day.